take 4, take 1.
My name's Louis J. Butler, otherwise known as Louis VI. I'm a musician, artist, but also a climate filmmaker and speaker, and did zoology at school. It wasn't really school, was it? It was more university, yeah. So there's a couple causes that I'm really focused on at the moment. I think one of them is getting young people of colour in the UK more into nature and realising it's a resource for them to use as well. And that kind of ties into my second cause, which is, you know, taking climate action and getting young people of colour at the front of this climate conversation, and realising, you know, where we're proud to be from are the places that contribute the least but are affected the most. I mean, what does it mean and what do I do, I think, are two different things. What does it mean is, you know, as much as just having conversations with your friends about it and becoming involved in the sphere that I think has been historically pushed away from people of colour, especially like our young generation. We're made to feel that, you know, nature, especially here, isn't something that's for us. We're made to feel that it's a luxury only reserved for the rich and the white. But I think in terms of what I'm doing, I'm trying to communicate and I'm trying to get across, you know, the science is there, it's facts, we know what's going on. But I think the battle is actually communicating and getting people involved enough to take action. So that's where I'm working. Okay, so I think the most pressing issue is one, getting people to understand that it's not climate change, it's a climate crisis, and we need to treat it like a crisis. You know, this is a catastrophe that's going to happen to our futures, and we need to do something about it. And two, it's something that involves people of colour, particularly in the West, because our voices are so important, not just over here in the West as the main contributors to climate change, but also as representation for, you know, the global South and all the other places that are on the front line of climate change already. So my dream assignment or dream job, I'm just, at the end of it all, like, aside of everything I do, I'm just a massive nature geek, and I'd rather not be doing like climate activism and stuff. I'd rather just be in nature and, you know, making nature films and getting to travel the world, basically replacing David Attenborough with like a younger person of colour with myself. Even though, you know, I love David Attenborough, obviously. I think there's a lot of different ways young activists can get involved. There's lots of different amazing groups like Fossil Free University, which is like a resource where you can go and learn about how to be like an activist that's effective. But also there's Fridays for Futures, there's the marches, there's loads of stuff at local schools. I spoke to all the, I think 900 kids in London, across schools in London. And each school has a group, and there's ways of getting involved, whether it's from an institution or your local area, but also online. It's not that hard to search and find something that's quite close to you, so that's a good first way. But also just like learning about the facts. I think there's a lot of people out there that are quick to think you can become an expert just by reading a bit online, but the more you know, the more informed you are, and the more you know you can do effectively if you know what you're up against. Yeah, I hope like a general message to the world is the hardest question ever. I think getting people more informed can only be good, because again, you know, when you have the facts, then you know the reality, and that this isn't climate change, it's a crisis, and we should be treating it as such. And that's not what's going on at the moment from our politicians, from the governments, from companies. And yeah, you know, when there's a crisis, you have to act extreme against the extremes. So I think if people become more informed of that, then maybe there'll be less resistance to change.
Excellent stuff. You're done.
Sweet.